I think I've got 3 different answers for this one. If they're a member of the Reformed Presbyterian Church of Ireland, and I won't speak for other places, but yes, they could and they should, because we don't have a black and white stated position on this as a church. Whereas singing psalms, we do. I suppose the issue is Paul seems to prohibit women praying in the presence of men in public worship. But we don't see the prayer meeting as public worship. And interestingly, I learned recently that's not the historic position of our denomination. And there's documents that go right back to like 1792, specifying that public worship is different from what they call fellowship meeting. So actually this is a relatively recent change. There's an assumption that if something's stricter, it's older and it must be better. Well, that's not the case here. But what I would say is, if you're in a church where that is the understanding, you must be respectful of their position. If it's an RP church and that's their practice, be respectful of that, but talk to your elders about it and work through it with them. If you're married to a man who believes that, submit to him. I would say if you're a man who believes that, and I would think long and hard about asking your wife to submit to you on that, because our church doesn't say this is an essential issue, and you want to keep the submission things for things that really matter. What I would say, that's the yes, no, and the maybe. The maybe is, it depends on your prayer meeting. So I know for many, well, maybe not many, but for some of you, your prayer meeting doesn't look that much different from a worship service. And so when you talk about a prayer meeting, that's what you're thinking. And so to hear a woman's voice in that context would seem very unusual. So I get that. My prayer meeting, it looks nothing like a worship service, and I think that's both biblical and a helpful model for church life. So that's what the type of midweek fellowship prayer meeting, whatever you call it, that's what I would encourage. But you've got to understand, when you're asking that question, they're very different. What's happening somewhere else is very different from what's happening Clough-Mills or another place. So that's a yes, no, and a maybe on that one.